Out with the new, in with the used. Hey look, it's in. So I didn't put it on camera because you guys probably see this motor over and over and over again. But I got the resolver. I got, I'll show you guys. I got, this is the new one that I took out. Plug is in the, I'll say up down direction. And I don't have, oh here they are. So here's the bag of the previous one I just took, or I just put in there. And here's the next one for the Y-axis. The resolver, you can see that the plug is going side to side. So I put it all back together. It's really fun, not really, trying to put these bolts back in because you got the spacer in the middle where this guy comes in, and then you got this, which is like, I guess just a, a shell or a cover on the outside, and you gotta try and align this hole up with the hole that's all the way down here while trying to finagle wires and try and get it all within the cavity. Also, something to think about when you finally get to this point and you put the bolts on, or when I did this was all up on top of the table there. Remember, if you could tighten the collet little set screws that hold the resolver in. I got to this point the first time and I realized, wait, did I tighten those set screws in? Good thing I checked because I didn't totally tighten them down. So, lesson learned there. I figured I'd do this off camera, set this up, get it all, tidied up, and we'll move on, and we'll actually go and do the Y-axis back here. We'll do that step by step, fresh. We got the resolver that we need with the correct plug going this way and not this way. And so I'll show you guys step by step for those that don't know how to do it. We'll take this, it's a little noisy back here, forgive me. But we'll go and we'll take that motor out, and I'll just do step by step, what you need to do in the correct manner, since I've done it, 2 or 3 times with that one motor over there. We'll do that, and after that, we'll turn the machine on, because right now it's still in that, the main power is, the switch is on, but the power's not on. I didn't push the button yet. So no screen. So let's get set up, and we'll get to that Y-axis motor and, get this done finally. Alrighty, so before we get started taking the motor out here, I'll go over the tools that I found out that I need to take the motor out and replace the resolver. So to start off, for the mounting bolts for the motor, I got a 3/8 ratchet with extension. I think it's a 6-inch extension, and then a 5/16 Allen. So that's for the motor bolts. They're giant Allens, not that big. And then for the resolver, for this back cap, I don't know if you can see it in the light, but you'll see it when I do it. There's the 2 screws in the back. I use it's a 1/4 inch ratchet. So if you got a ratchet wrench, or if you got a ratchet socket, that'll work. Screwdriver, I got a flathead. If you got a plastic one, that might be better. I use this just to gently pry on either side of the motor to try and get the cap and then the spacer popped off. I also have a tiny one, so I can get into little tiny corners. I got a Phillips head, a small Phillips, for the actual resolver board. Actually, let's go grab that so I have it ready too. Or is it over here? All right. So yeah, the Phillips are for those 2 little screws that are down there on the bottom of the plate that actually bolt the board to the motor. So yeah, you'll need this as part of the kit to do all this. So you got resolver, we got the ratchet, we got the wrench. Oh, and so this is for the actual set screws. They're for the VMC 15s at least, or for my machine. I need a 50 thou Allen, so it's 0.05 Allen, super tiny, and there's 2 of them that hold the resolver shaft to the coupler that goes to the actual motor shaft. And then I got 2 rubber mallets. This is really for when you put things back together. The sleeve that's on the back here, and then the cap. Really, it's just a sleeve. I use one as kind of like a spacer to get around the ring, and then I'll use the other one to tap the back of this and work my way around. Similar to like if you're working on your car and you're trying to put a bearing in or something other cylindrical into a hole. Just tap around the outside with something soft that'll bend or scrape and not have to scrape up what you're trying to install. So those are the tools, and let's get started now. I got my nice big fancy bright light up there. I'm gonna move it down here so you can see inside of here, but we'll take the motor off, then we'll start going in from the back end and getting that resolver out. So here we go. Alrighty, so step 1's complete. We got the motor out of there. It's now here. You can see it's got a little bit more of a little bit more patina on it. Little rust, little surface rust. Looks like it's seeing some moisture compared to the one that's in the machine and on the x-axis over there. So that makes me, you know, hesitant, but I'm not too worried because this is an older machine. So let's keep going. We'll flip this around, and so we can get to the other side of this shroud, and then we'll start taking the resolver out. All right, let's keep going. Alrighty, so that was a lot easier than my first experience on the x-axis, taking that motor off. I got to this really quick. You saw me struggling there with the shroud, or that spacer right there. What I found is if you use the actual the line where the actual lines come in, use this and kind of wiggle it, you can sometimes, or most likely, get a little space right here to be able to get a tiny screwdriver in and wiggle over here, wiggle over there, and pop it right off. So one thing I did notice on this guy is you can see right here, there's this yellowish, brownish, I don't know, material, or like, it's almost, you know, reminds me of this color. So I don't know if there's moisture in there. I actually didn't do the spin test. Let's see what this spins like. It actually doesn't feel too bad. Yeah, it's not gravelly at all. I did notice that, look, it's got, I don't know if you can see on the camera, ENC 0008. So it looks like this might have been replaced before. Oh yeah, but all CNC. So I think this might have been replaced before. And it might be a new motor, because it looks, I mean, the board looks nice and neat and clean compared to the old one that I had over in the x-axis. This board was, you know, that brownish yellow color. So to replace this or not to replace this, I think I might just replace it. Let's see, move it around a little bit. I'm not feeling anything that could mean that this is bad. I don't see anything on the board. Man, it's kind of a tough call right now, because this feels good. Huh. You know what? Since we're here, let's just replace it. I'll send this one back, because I was getting, on both the X and the Y axis. Really, I think it was mainly on the X axis, but I would get intermittent resolver errors whenever I had the jog on and I was going in the 10th thou increments and I was just, you know, going back and forth. It would error out. So, you know what, I'm just gonna replace it since I'm here. I don't know how old this one is, even though it looks fairly new. I'll send it back with the other one and I'll let them deal with it. It might be, you know, perfectly fine. But I'm here, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show you guys how to do it, you know, properly the first time. So, okay, so we got everything out. Resolver is out. We're gonna get the new one. It's over there in the bag still. We're gonna take that, we're gonna install it, and just do all those steps in reverse. All right, let's keep going. Alrighty, so resolver's back in, it's plugged in, the board's bolted up. What else is going on? Put the spacer back in there, this section. I was able to, actually this time it was actually kind of easy. Maybe I was just lucky, but these two bolts kind of just lined right up and I was able to put this cap back on. And so now we are ready to put it back on a nice bright light, but back in that little hole right there. So, last step, here we go. So there we go, it's back in there. You guys probably saw me, I was struggling a little bit. The bolt that's down here in this corner, so you got 1, 2, 3, and 4. This one down here, you can see there's all this tubing in the way. You got the line for the motor that comes in. It gets in the way, so I have to, like, if you have a VMC 15 or maybe other machines are similar, this little avenue is perfect for your arm to go down inside and, you know, hold the bolt, you know, back there and try and use your ratchet. In this case, when I was tightening it up, I used the breaker bar to kind of give it a little bit extra torque. I might have to actually go look and see if there's a torque value needed for the bolts, but I had to do that and have to get my my swivel on there to be able to get around whatever is in here. I think it's really just this guy that's in the way, but it's a little bit more difficult to get the extensions and everything in there. So everything is buttoned up, and so now we got that motor on there. We got that all sorted out or connected. Everything on this back motor is connected. Let's turn it on. Wait for it. All right, you heard the contactor. It's coming on. Let's see here. See if there's any issues. We're going to go to, man, it's been a while since I've been back here. So jog. Oh, reset the emergency stop. Wait, are you ready for it? All right, so far so good. All right, We're Y, 1 thou. Are we moving? We're moving up there. One thing to note too, these numbers, I don't know for sure, this is me guessing right now without actually doing any research, but these numbers might be resolver numbers. Because I noticed that this is a lot smaller than it was before. I think this is like, you know, 1,000 something for the Y. I could just be totally wrong on this, but when you move it, you know, that jumps up and moves. So let's see here. Y is moving. I don't know if you can see because I'm holding the camera. I'm in 1 thou increment. Let's go to 10 thou. There you go. You can see that. I got an error. Motor overload relays. Let's go check this. It's this guy. No, that one's... There's no error there. Let's see here. Can we... It's probably gonna... Yeah, it's gonna reset it. New messages can be seen on last page of MU. So, okay. MU. Go to 47. Alright, so it says amplifier fault on axis, reset the emergency stop switch, emergency stop, take action, appropriate action, blah blah blah, check emergency stop switch and motor overload relays. So the overload relays, that one that back there, I pushed that, it wasn't tripped at all. Let's see. I'm gonna keep trying to move it around to see if, you know. Let's see. Let's switch over to X. So we move that. We're moving there. We're moving on the screen. You can see the motor back there. It's moving. Let's go to 10 thou. Oh, you can see that clearly. So if I switch hands here. This is where, if I jogged it back and forth really quick, it would error out, and I'm not seeing that. Although it is like, you know, first 5 minutes of me doing this, so time will tell if it's an actual issue. But oh wait, one thing too we need to do. Let's line up the cold start position. Alright, cold start. That's X. We'll go to Y. We gotta line up down here. Where is it? There it is. Cold start position. That little... This guy right there is what you want to line up to. And then Z-axis, that's not lined up. Let's do that real quick. And we'll do the Z-axis. Alright. I don't know if you guys could see that in the angle I was showing you, but this guy right here. Line those guys up. Alright. Or approximately. Alright, so there we go. Manual. What is it? Man, it spins forever. Is it cold CS? Hold on. Manual. CS? I think that's what it is. Yeah, you can see it. You might have missed it. But all the axes moved a little bit. It just, there we go. We did it. Cold start. All right, so far so good. I might have to keep an eye on the alarm that I just got, which is the amplifier axis, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, these are the amplifiers right here. I don't know if it's X, Y, and Z, or if it's X, Y, and Z, but I have to keep an eye on that, see if it pops up again, or do some more research to see what happens here. But that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully this one's a little bit more entertaining, or a little bit more knowledge based, to where you weren't watching me fiddle around with trying to explore how to take this guy apart. So we got that back together. We got the Y-axis back there. It was a little bit of a bear because it was up underneath the machine, but we got it out. We got it taken care of. Now it's up to me to put my tools away, of course, and then sending these guys back, so I can get my core charge refunded. So thanks for following me, guys. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to my channel, helps me out, you know, hopefully helps you guys out too. And next time what are we doing next time? Maybe we'll check how straight we are in the axes. Maybe if I get anywhere with the errors, if I get another error, or if I figure out what's wrong, we'll dive into that. If not, we're one step closer. Again, one step closer to actually, you know, making chips on this machine. So thanks for following me. Follow me on YouTube, Instagram. If you want to see more pictures, I post more there than YouTube. So thanks again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.